A kinetic sculpture is a sculpture that moves, and that can be through the wind as this one, or it could be with water, or it could be motorized. This is actually my first effort at a piece that would move in the wind. Part of the design focus was to create pieces that look like they would almost touch as they moved by. So that was a big part of my focus in designing it. But only after it was done, I looked at it and thought, that looks kind of like a chute of water coming up, and that led to the title. And the more pieces there are, the more complicated it is to try to keep pieces from hitting each other. Having some surprises out there in the world, not just the same old thing you see every day, but something that might make you think, or that you just might enjoy looking at. You know, I think it enriches public life. And the idea of having pieces here temporarily, they'll be here for a year, so people can see them and either enjoy them or not, but in a year they'll be gone and there'll be something new. And you know, if you enjoy some percentage of what's here, it's a successful show.
I've been working with metal probably for about 37 years, but I've been working with my artwork probably maybe the last 20 years. It's called Balancing Spears. It kind of came about, I came across these scrap pieces of metal that I had gotten from a local business where I live, and was trying to decide on what to do with them. And a lot of the stuff I build kind of deals with the universe and the solar system. And so I thought I'd try to build something that kind of looked like planets all connected together. And it kind of started with that. I worked on it probably for about a month and a half. I was very happy to get to be notarized that, you know, I was in the sculpture walk, and I was pretty excited about it. I'd just like to thank the town of Clayton for allowing me to bring it down and let the people see it for a year.
This piece is called Force of Nature Generative. I'm doing a series of sculptures about different aspects of nature that interest me, and this one is really about how it gives life. And so it's sort of a depiction of like the life force. I kind of see it as a chute that comes up and then maybe makes a twist and goes, thinking that sometimes life springs up in places you don't expect it. When you see the art in a place like this, I think it just causes a lot of interest and it's a reason to bring people out. And it stirs their thinking about, well, what was the artist's meaning and what do they think it looks like? Do they like it? Do they don't? And it just sort of enhances the whole, I don't know, artistic awareness, you know. And it gives people a chance to just see what can be done with these different materials. And I don't know, they seem to enjoy it, and so I'm thrilled to be part of it.
Primal unity deal with the beginning of things, of growing, of interacting, and that's why deal with the same format as the four elements: earth, water, fire, wind. And this is a theme that I've been working with on many levels, from casting my sculpture in bronze, iron, aluminum, small pieces, to a large-scale work. The brown represents the earth, and the growth is the yellow and red and the blue. They all interact with each other and all opposing each other at the same time, but create a unity of that primal beginning of time. And I feel through my activity as an artist, I can give something to my society and to humanity to look into my research, into my creative process and my interpretation of universal forms. Enjoy it, town of Clayton, and I hope I will enter it next year as well with the new pieces.
I call this piece Love Bound with Claws. I'll probably ask everyone to sort of take a look and see if they could figure out where I sort of came up with that name. And it's carved of limestone. When I'm doing something for myself like this piece, I'll just sort of make it up as I go along, and just I think I basically had a plan that I was going to have a piece with some holes in the center and make things sort of happen after that. And I started carving the outside, which was kind of smooth, and I was sort of flowing it around. And when I got to the back, I thought I needed to mix it up a bit. So then I started doing a lot of angles, you know, so if somebody wants to come down and take a look at it, they'll see the claws kind of. And actually, I think a sub-name was sort of a Love Bound with Claws and House. I saw this little house that was being shown, designed into a cliffside, and that's even sort of in there. See if you can find a little house in the cliffside in the back. Yeah, I've heard all kinds of interpretations, even of this work itself, which is really great. I mean, people have to take their own experiences, what pieces of art they've seen before, or even things that they look at and they don't think is a piece of art, but if they're having a discussion about it and what is that, in a sense, that's a piece of art, you know. So it all works out.
This sculpture titled Celestial Motion, and it's deal with the motion and with the heavenly objects, and my relationship with the four elements, earth, water, wind. And why is this celestial motion? Because it deals with the cycle of life, it deals with the projection, more or less of a comet-like formation, it deals with the moon, it deals with the sun, and the heavenly cycle that we always look up to. Either, you know, the Milky Way, which you can see in the form in the back, or the projections of form and the different level. And we talk about motion, and my interpretation for every motion, for every action, there is a reaction equal and opposite direction. And that's my interpretation of this celestial motion, the heavenly objects.
I'm really happy the city picked this piece because it has a lot of form and shape to it. It makes a statement, it says something, and it represents something. It's just not an object. The whole point, especially when you go into here, the Eye of the Hurricane, the name of the piece, you go right up in here, look, way up, and it takes you right to the sky. Just like when you're in a hurricane, the very center takes your eye right up, and it's blue and calm and beautiful. Well, this is made from pieces of wood that were destroyed from hurricanes down. I live on the coast, and during the hurricanes, a lot of things get wrecked. So I salvaged all this lumber, and though they were straight boards, I made them, put them into a total curvilinear shape. I cut every one of these boards on multiple angles, compound angles, and to make them spin and spiral up. Because what I wanted to do was capture the motion and form of the waves and of the hurricane and put them into a physical form using the materials that the hurricane had destroyed.